us ladies look out for when we need to go to the doctor?
Okay, so first of all, don't look out for any symptoms before you go to a doctor.
Okay.
Do a screen every 6 months, but if you do have symptoms, the type of symptoms to look out for are varied. So one of the main symptoms that girls present with in clinic is an increased amount of discharge, vaginal discharge. Now, vaginal discharge, first of all, is normal.
Yes,
It is normal. As women, you have to have discharge. It's your body cleaning itself. So the vagina, like I said before, is very clever. And it's self-cleansing, so you don't need any of that fancy soaps and stuff that they sell to you in shops. You don't need
discharge does change throughout the month as well.
Exactly. So depending on different times of the month. So for instance, when you're ovulating, you're more likely to have discharge, and also the consistency of the discharge might change. It's sort of a lot more gel-like and see-through. Other times it's a lot thicker. So different things in the month can, different times of the month your vagina could be different. Most of us know what's normal for us. You know when it's a little bit abnormal for you.
Yeah.
So discharge can also be an indication of an STI, so something like chlamydia or gonorrhea. If it's gonorrhea, it's typically going to be sort of like a yellowy, greeny type of discharge. If it's chlamydia, it's more likely to be a liquidy, sort of more of a runnery type of discharge. Things like thrush also cause discharge, and bacteria vaginosis, otherwise known as BV.
Are they STIs?
They're not STIs. So they're caused by an imbalance in bacteria in the vagina. That bacteria that causes the imbalance could be caused by loads of different things. So things like washing with soaps and shower gels, which I know there's some brands out there that sell women like different types of things to wash underneath. But like I said before, the vagina is self-cleansing. You do not need any soaps or shower gels down there. Water alone is absolutely fine. So with thrush, the typical symptoms are a really thick discharge that tends to be sort of white, yellow, sort of in between that kind of colour. And it's quite distinctive in that the discharge is very thick and it's almost like cottage cheese.
Yeah. Ooh. I've had that before.
Have you had it before?
Oh, yeah.
Once you've had thrush before, you know what it is if you have it again.
Okay.
The discharge is very distinctive. Like I said, it's quite thick, so it would be different to your normal type of discharge. When you have bacteria vaginosis, which is again caused by an imbalance of pH levels in the vagina.
I've had that too.
Had that too. Tick that off.
Yeah, all of them. Woo!
That's
smelly,
most,
right?
if not all women, will get BV or thrush at some point in their life. Some women, unfortunately, do get it more often than others. Now, what is also important to realise and to acknowledge for girls is that having sex alone can trigger off BV or thrush. Now, not to say that your partner has given it to you, but if you're having sex with a new partner for the first time, their bacteria and your bacteria is very new to each other. So it could just, having sex, the act of sex alone, vaginal sex alone, could just trigger off. And especially if having unprotected sex. So when you use protection, that bacteria is not joining and it's not then creating a pH imbalance, and then you're not likely to get thrush or BV. So the best way to protect yourself against thrush or BV is through protected sex. Okay. If you do get an outbreak of either of them, it's not the end of the world. You can pass on thrush from one partner to the next through sexual contact. So if you have a vaginal thrush, you can then give it to your partner. So in males, the symptoms might be sort of the skin feeling a little bit sensitive, maybe the colour might change, a bit of redness around the head of the penis, and general irritation in that skin. So guys can pass it on to girls as well through sexual contact. But with BV, you cannot pass BV on to a guy. A guy can essentially cause you to have an outbreak of BV, but you can't then give it back to them.
Okay.
No. So it's only exists in the vagina.
Okay.
But the symptoms for BV can be quite unpleasant. So it can be sort of like a fishy type of smell. They're very distinctive.
And you know when you have it.
If you've had BV once before and you've been diagnosed, you know what it is every time you get it, because the smell is essentially the same. It's like a typical fish-like symptom.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
And it smells the same for every girl that gets it.
That must be where the joke comes from.
Yeah, that's exactly. So whenever you hear the joke and people are like, oh, her vagina smells like fishy.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from.
It's just BV.
And it doesn't mean that you've not washed. It doesn't mean that you're dirty. It's just, unfortunately, that's just the symptom of how it smells. And it's not very pleasant, and it can cause a lot of insecurity.
Yes.
It causes a lot of fear. You think, God, my partner thinks I've not washed, and it's nothing to do with that. Actually, sometimes it's caused by washing too much.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Yeah. Because when you overwash, and because a lot of women go really inside and want to never do that, because you're just washing away all the good bacteria that your vagina needs to stay healthy.
Good advice.